from the booster standpoint. And then if you've got ships lined up, you can drop another ship on, fill it with propellant, and in theory, you could be launching every couple hours.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine now, but it was hard to imagine where Falcon 9 is today. 10 years ago, no one would have imagined what Falcon 9 is doing now. So I think time will tell that, you can just keep chipping away at all those little improvements. And so do you think you'll actually fly?
Falcon 9 used to have reusability measured in months, then weeks, then days. And then for Falcon 9, the architecture is limited to, you really can't compress it down less than several days.
Right.
When you take the landing out to sea and then the necessary refurbishment of the booster that is required. So with Starship, we'll take it from days to hours.
Wow.
Do you think? So then the ship has to go around the Earth, and depending upon what orbit it has, it's got to have a ground track that comes back over the launch site.
Right.
So that could take several orbits. So the ship could take several hours, sometimes half a day or something like that to come back.
To reline, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd want to have a lot more ships than boosters.
Yeah.
So if you're really going for max launch rate, you probably want roughly 5 ships for every booster. Yeah.
And that's what you guys are building a pretty massive cadence here of ships and boosters already.
Yeah.
Now, do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's pretty slow compared to what it will be, like very slow. But we're also iterating the design, so each one is a little different from, in some cases, a lot different from the last one.
Yeah. Are any of these are any of these going to be the V2 yet? Are we starting to get close to some V2 hardware yet, or?
Yeah. The stretch version is basically V2. Well, I guess it depends on whether we call it V2 or don't call it V2. The slightly stretched version is V2, ugly. So, yeah. So you can see, what we have here is a Starship with, you've seen the heat shield side and the non-heat shield side.
Yep.
It's got the what we call the PEZ dispenser for tossing out the next generation Starlink satellites, the V3 satellites. So those will be very wide diameter, like sort of 7 meter diameter satellites.
Yeah.
So 22 feet or something like that.
Right.
So